everybody. Sorry, I'm running a little bit late. How are you all doing today? I hope everybody's doing well. What is today? I know we're at that point where we're like, got to think of what today is. Today's Tuesday. So I hope you're doing well. We're going to practice, have some fun. What do you think? Sounds good to me. Hopefully it sounds good to you. So if you're here and you're live and you can hear me well, send me a few hearts so I know that you can hear. Otherwise, maybe you're watching this at another time. Anyway, my name is Susan, and this is for SunWater Spa. We're just going to do a mixed flow tonight. I thought we'd focus on twisting. I feel like, we're a little twisted up, and so maybe do some twisting, get into kind of unlocking some energy there. All right, so I'm going to scoot on back onto my mat, and we will get started. So find a comfortable seat, whatever that is for you. You can sit on a pillow if you like. You can sit on your mat. You can even sit in a chair if you like. And we'll just take a moment to close our eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And exhale from your mouth. Let's do a couple of those. So you're going to inhale, deep breath through the nose. Exhale it all the way out. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Good, and then just bring your palms together at your heart. Just take a moment here, just to do a quick check-in. See how you're feeling today, what your energy level is like, and just letting that lead you in your practice today. So if you're feeling a little tired, you can always take a more restorative practice. I'll give you lots of options. If you've got lots of energy to burn, I'll give you some of those options as well. Or maybe you're somewhere in the middle, which is great too. So again, just be where you are. Check out and see how you're feeling today. I don't know about you, but I'm having a lot of allergies. There's a lot of pollen in the air, so it's kind of hard to breathe, so I apologize for that. So let's open our practice with a chant of Om. So you're welcome to chant along with me if you'd like. So first we're going to take a deep breath in. Exhale all the way out. And then inhale for Om. Om. And slowly opening your eyes. Just taking your hands down onto your lap or on your knees. Just drop your head forward and stretch out your neck. And lift your chin up towards the ceiling. And drop your head again. And lifting your chin back up to the ceiling. Good, and then come into the center. Tilt your head to the right. Bring your ear over your shoulder. And drop your left shoulder down. And we'll tilt our head to the other side. And let your right shoulder drop down. And then come back into the center. Let's bring your wrists together. So kind of on the inside of your wrist, if you put perfume on or essential oil, and like right here on these pulse points, you're going to bring your wrists together and you're just going to roll your wrists nice and free. Just free flowing, moving, rolling the wrists. Just let your practice today be a journey, not worrying about getting anywhere in particular. There's no beginning, there's no end. We're just going to practice, we're just going to play. We're going to enjoy the journey. Switch directions, go the other way. And it's just kind of same with what's mirroring what's going on in the world. So, our yoga practice is a mirror, if you will, into ourselves. And so right now we're kind of in the middle of the journey, huh? we've kind of gotten past the first couple of days of, oh my gosh, what is going on, to, all right, we're settling in. We're not at the end of the journey, but we're in the middle of the journey. So let's let our practice be that, a journey. And then interlace your fingers, draw your arms up, take a big stretch. And now root down so you're super heavy in your hips. Pull your ribs in, and you're going to lean over to your right side. So you essentially be moving opposite for me. It's a little hard to mirror online, so you can just listen to my voice cues if it's confusing to watch me. And we're going to inhale, lift. And we're going to come over to the other side and stretch. Good, and then come back on up. Release your hands, and you're just going to crawl your fingertips out wherever you can go, and then bow easy. Round your back, let your head be heavy and hang over. And use your hands to help lift you back up. Good, now extend your feet straight out in front of you. Pull your toes back and forth a few times just to wake up your legs. And now walk your hands along the sides, wherever you can comfortably reach. Again, there's no goal here. If you catch your feet, great. If you don't, great. So wherever you are. And then just round over. Feel a stretch in your back and in your hamstrings. Yoga will always show us some places where we might need to spend a little attention, give ourselves a little bit of love. And I know, like, my low back has been a little bit tight. Just been doing a lot of sitting, and places in your body you might feel some tension and some stress, because our bodies do hold on to that. And we're all feeling that right now. We're all feeling the trauma, the tension, the anxiety. So our bodies might be a little stiffer than we're used to. So just breathe into that. And then use your hands, walk yourself up. All right, let's come on over into child's pose. So you're going to drop your hips back to your heels. You can have your knees either open or together. It's essentially the same pose, but which one feels better for you? And then another option, you can have, your hands out front, or maybe today, bring your hands back. Wherever you like to go. Let me turn this up just a little bit. Just breathe into your back. Fill your whole back body with breath. And with an inhale, lift yourself up. Go ahead and turn your toes and take a quick downward dog. So you're going to lift up wherever you can go, and you can bend those knees as much as you need to. And just gently pedal out. So bend one knee, bend the other knee. Work your heel down to the ground. Maybe shake your head a few times. And then steady your heels. Push your hands into the ground. Reach your hips way up high. And then allow your knees to come back down onto the ground. Let's lift the right arm up, stretch up high, and then we're going to take the right arm underneath. Lay your shoulder and your ear on the ground, and crawl your left fingertips over your head. Push your fingertips into the ground, and look underneath your left arm. And then lift yourself back up to a table. We're going to take the left arm, reach it out and up. And then reaching underneath, lay your shoulder, your ear, and then crawl your right fingers over your head. And push your fingertips into the ground and start to turn your torso underneath your arm. And then come back into the center. Lift yourself up and find your table again. We're going to drop our hips back like we're going into child's pose, but we're not going to go all the way. You're going to let your hips hover about an inch or so away from your heels. Round your spine. Really get some roundness in your back. Now send your hips way over to the right side. Send your hips way over to the left side. Let's do that one more time on each side. So you're going to sway your hips way over. And then sway your hips way over to the other side. Again, just noticing any sensation, any feeling that you're having in your back and in your hips. No judgment, just noticing what's going on. Come back into the center and lift yourself up. Find your table, so open up your knees under your hips and your wrists underneath your shoulders. And then just move through a couple up and down, cat and cow, releasing your back. Just pausing for a moment of just gratitude to be able to have this practice, to have time together, and to move through our bodies. I am certainly grateful that you all are tuning in and watching our videos. Good. So let's come back into our downward dog. So just walk your hands a few inches forward, turn your toes, lift your hips, and reach back into downward dog. Good. Now, just like we did in our child's pose, sway your hips way over to the right side. You can leave both toes on the ground, or you might roll to the outside edges of your feet and take even a further swing over. And then swing your legs over to the other side. Again, maybe coming onto the inside and outside edge of your feet if you like. And then back into the center. You're going to use your toes to lift your heels, stretch, and then work your heels back towards the ground. One more time, roll up onto your toes, and then roll the heels down. Let's use your toes to push forward and come into a plank. Go ahead and let your knees come down for this first couple ones here. Elbows are going to bend back towards your feet, and you're going to lower yourself slowly to the ground. Squeeze your legs together. Inhale and lift up for your cobra. So in cobra, do a looping action. Lift your shoulders up to your ears, and then take them back and down. Hug your elbows in, and then squeeze your legs together. Press out through your big toes. So feel like a cobra, your big hood, if you will, of your cobra, and then reaching out through your tail, which is your toes. And then release down. Let's do one more cobra. So fire up your legs, pull your low belly in, and then roll up for your cobra. Stretch across your collarbones. And then release down. Good. Use your hands to roll back and find your child's pose. Stretch your hips to your heels. You can walk your fingertips back to make yourself small. Good. Now, fingertips on the ground. You're going to walk them way over to the right side. Just go as far as you can. Get a big side stretch out of your left side. Good. Now walk your fingertips all the way through and over to the other side. And then back into the center. Just sink down into your child's pose one more time. Turn your toes. Sorry, technical difficulty. Turn your toes and lift up to downward facing dog. The problem with the mic on yoga pants is they don't like to stay on. So downward facing dog. Now let's sway our hips side to side. Big sway back and forth. And then come into the center. We're going to be like a big wave. So start to pull your belly up, roll your back up towards the ceiling. So you're going to roll through your body, coming into your plank pose. Now, if that's too much, knees on the ground, always an option. Otherwise, hold your plank, reach the crown of your head, pull your ribs up into your body, and reach back through your heels. So you feel this one long line of energy from the very crown of your head all the way down to your toes. If you're on the ground, you keep that energy, pulling your belly up and reaching your chest forward. Good. Come back into downward facing dog. One more big wave like the ocean. You're going to roll up onto your toes, roll through your body. Bend your elbows and lower down to the floor. Untuck your toes, inhale, and lift up for your cobra. Exhale and release. Push off the ground and come back into your downward facing dog. Good. Push your hands into the ground, reach your hips back and apart. Good. Both knees come down onto the ground. We're going to pick the right foot up, bring it up between your hands. So if that's difficult, you can use your right hand to help you. Remember, if you have some props at home, maybe you have blocks or a box or books, you can also use those anytime. So we're going to roll forward into our hip. Good. Back toes, let's leave them turned under for balance. And you want to aim this knee to be right on top of your heel. Now hug your legs towards each other. Let your hips melt forward, opening into your hip flexor. Good. Keep drawing this right hip down and in. It likes to come out to the side, so we want to pull it down and in. Good. Now roll backwards, straighten your front leg, lift up your toes, keep this knee soft, so legs straight, but it's not locked. Walk your fingertips out and find a stretch. Gently move through your body, roll forward again. And then we're going to take our right hand on top of the knee, pull your belly and ribs way back, push down on that top of your thigh and turn your body. So you're using your arm to help you get a big twist. So ribs and belly up and in, root down through the hand and turn, and then reach the arm up to the sky. Good. Take an inhale. On your exhale, release the hand to the ground. Roll back into your downward facing dog. So lift your hips up, stretch back. Shift forward through a plank pose. Exhale, lower down onto your belly. Untuck your toes. Inhale, lift up for your cobra. Exhale and lower. Push off the ground, downward facing dog. Now you can always bend your knees and move through this if it's too hard to lift straight off the ground. Good, and then release back down onto your knees. You're going to pick your left foot up, step it up between your hands, roll forward, back toes turned under, and you're going to actually push that heel away, hug your inner thighs together, lift your chest, and let your shoulders roll down your back. Good. Now leave your right hand on the ground, left hand on top of that knee, pull, ribs way back, belly in, and turn. And then lift your left arm up. Good. So in this pose, bring your shoulder blades together on your back, like you're gently squeezing behind your heart. Good. Another inhale. On your exhale, bringing the hand down to the ground. Go ahead and step back into your downward facing dog. Reach up, big stretch. All right, let's move a little bit more. We're going to reach the right leg up to the ceiling. So just stretch that leg up. Notice how your right foot likes to turn out to the side. So instead, work your toes to the ground and reach that heel up. Pull your ribs up into your body. Now look between your hands. You're going to start to shift forward. Shoulders are going to come over your wrist. Bend your knee and take a step. Again, if that's not possible for you, you just do what you can do and meet us here in this lunge. So same principle, knee over your heel. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Hold your pose. Breathe. Let's take the twist on this side. So we're going to take the hand on top of the leg. Pull your ribs and belly up like you're doing cat pose. Turn your belly towards the bent leg and then open it up. So again, watch this right hip. It likes to lift up in the pose. Instead, drop it down and hug it in. Big stretch open. If you like, you can even reach that arm into the space behind you. Really open through your chest. Take another inhale. On your exhale, hand comes down to the ground. Step backwards into your downward facing dog. Either stay in downward dog or move through a vinyasa. You'll roll forward, bend your elbows and lower to the ground. Squeeze your legs together, lift up for your cobra. Exhale and lower, push off the ground. Downward facing dog, roll through your body, stretch back. Big breath. Maybe open your mouth, let it out. All right, left leg, here you go. It's going to reach up. Again, toes towards the ground. Lift it straight up. Start to pull your ribs in. Shift forward, shoulders over your wrist as you lightly step your foot. Do your best. Good. Left hand on top of the leg. Pull your belly and ribs up. Turn towards your bent leg. And then reach the arm. Option to really open the chest by reaching the arm back into the space behind you. Full breath here. And then exhale, release. So this time, step forward. And you're going to take a forward fold. So working your head towards the ground. Shifting more weight into the balls of your feet. Lift your hips up. I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see a little better here. Good. So you can bend your knees as much as you need to get your fingers to the floor. So again, we're working twists. Let's take a twist in this pose. So you can take your left fingertips underneath your chin or again onto a block or a book or something to support yourself. If you don't have any of those, but you still need something, lift up higher and just put your hands on your shin. All right, so let's take our right hand onto our sacrum. It's that big flat bone on your low back. So just place your hand there, reach the crown of your head forward, pull your ribs together and your belly up and in. Now try to keep your belly facing the floor and twist your chest open to the right. So feel that sacrum, that big bone back there. You want to try to keep it level. Now reach your right arm straight out from your shoulder. And then you're going to plug your shoulder in. You'll notice you'll be able to move your shoulder back and forth here. So unplugged and then plugged in. You're plugging the top of your arm bone into your shoulder. So plug it in and then start to lift it up for your twist. Just go wherever you can go. And if that's too much, you can leave your hand on your low back. Take a full breath, reach through your fingers. And then exhale, fold. Let everything be soft. Bend your knees, relax your arms. All right, other side. So right fingers are on the ground. Take your left hand to the bone, that big wide bone back there, your sacrum. Pull your belly up and in. Good. And now reach the arm out. Why we do this? Because a lot of times when we don't plug the arm in, the shoulders just sort of loose out here and we kind of pull on our shoulder in this twist. And I really don't want to do that. We want to move and twist from our full torso. So by plugging the shoulder in, keeping it there, we can turn from the middle of our body and not just our shoulder. So you might not be able to go up all the way. It's okay. Just go where you can. Reach your head forward and your tailbone back. Engage your belly. Pull it up. strong. Inhale, full breath, and then exhale, release. Good, let everything be soft for a moment. You can lay your belly on top of your thighs. Good, and then inhale, roll yourself up. Taking breath in, reach tall. Let's leave our fingers up, stretch up, pull your ribs and belly in. A little softness in your knees. You're going to lean over to your right side. Take half a moon stretch. Chin works off your chest. Legs are strong. Good. And then inhale, lift. Soften the knees, pull the ribs in. Let's come on over to the other side. Good. And then do a quick check-in. How are you feeling in your practice so far tonight? Where are you feeling the effects of your yoga on your body, emotionally, mentally? Feel free to write in comments. If you got suggestions for things you'd like to see in class, write those in too. All right, let's inhale, lift. Hands come down, reach them behind your back. You're going to interlace your fingers and then draw your knuckles straight down your tailbone. Hold that just for a moment. Don't rush through that. Great stretch across your collarbones. All right, inhale, breath. On your exhale, you're going to fold. So your fingers and hands might feel stuck on your back. That's fine. Don't force it. Just be there if that's where you are. Put a little bend in your elbows, so not hyperextended. Round elbows is better. Lift your knuckles up. Again, you're unplugging your shoulder. We plugged it in last time. Now we're going to reach it out of the shoulder and then work it over your head. Good. Don't forget about your legs. You're going to hug your legs towards each other, but make sure your kneecaps are pointing straight forward. And you're engaging those outer hip muscles, working and squeezing them towards your tailbone. Good. Press through your feet. Inhale and rise up. Release your hands. And let's bend the knees and come into chair pose. So sink your hips down, lift your chest. If this is too much for you, any yoga pose, you can always have your hands at your heart. Okay, so when you lift the arms up, it makes the pose a little more challenging. So if you don't want to do that tonight, here's a great place to be. Let's drop down into our chair pose. Good. And then reach tall. Exhale and dive to the ground all the way down. I'm going to go this way. All right, take a few steps. Walk your feet back into downward facing dog. Let's take a little bit of movement. So we're going to lift the right leg on your inhale. So timing our movements and our breath together. Good. On your exhale, shift forward. Start to find your cat pose. Lift your belly and ribs up. Bending your right leg. You're going to step up between your hands. On your next inhale, sweep the arms up and find your crescent. Good. Bring your hands down to your heart center and then pull your ribs back, arching your back behind you, creating space to come into a twist in this pose. So we're working that left arm across. Hands are going to stack. Now, if you're like, that's a little too much for me today, no problem. You're just going to extend your left arm out and your right arm behind you. So there's always options to modify this practice. So either twist is good. And then again, can you find that line of energy from the crown of your head all the way down your spine, through your tailbone, and out through your back heel? Good. Inhale and begin to rise up. Stretch tall. Exhale. Hands to the ground. Step back into downward dog. Stay here or move through vinyasa. So you can shift forward, lower either to the floor or chaturanga if you like. Upward dog or cobra. Back into downward facing dog. That's always an option. You can stay right here in downward dog if you don't want to do that vinyasa. Left leg reaches up, inhale. And then on your exhale, pull your belly up, create space to get that leg up there. Bend the knee. Good, strong through the back leg. Rise up into your crescent. Bring your hands to your heart. Pull ribs and belly back to create space so that you can take a deep twist. Come across. And again, option here if you don't want to come down deep. Good. So we're working to one day get our shoulder and our elbow to the outside of the knee. That may not be for you today, so be where you are. Top hand pushes down so that you can lift your rib cage off your leg and turn your body. So we're not using the leg as a place to hang out on. Good, breathe. So again, we're going to work lots of twists tonight. Kind of wring out our bodies, if you will. Good, and then with an inhale, rise up, stretch tall. Exhale, hands down to the ground, leg comes back, either downward dog or move through your vinyasa. Downward dog, everybody meets there. Deep breath. Good, so let's try that one more time. Inhale, lift up. On the exhale, step the right foot up between your hands. Rise up into your crescent. Exhaling into your twist. Inhale in the pose. Exhale in the pose. And then inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to the floor and move through your vinyasa. Lowering down. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Left leg reaches up on your inhale. Step between your hands. Inhale, rise up. Exhaling into a twist. Inhale in the pose. Exhale in the pose. Inhale and rise up. Exhale, move through your vinyasa. Go right to your downward dog. Finding your breath. Let's add on. So we're going to inhale, lift. Exhale, step the right foot between your hands. Inhale, lift up. Exhale to twist. Inhale, stay in the twist. Exhale, in the twist. Inhale, lift up. On your exhale, come on into warrior two. So back heel's going to rotate on the ground. Spread the arms and drop into it. Good, hug your feet towards each other. Pull your ribs and belly in. Full breath here. And then we're going to come forward into Parsvakonasana or side angle pose. Option, bottom arm's going to rest on the leg. Another option is to take your hand to the floor, or if you have a block or some prop, you can use that. Tuck your right hip underneath you, and that left arm, if you like, can reach over your head. So let's find that line of energy again. Think of your pinky finger as reaching, and you're looking underneath the pose. Pull your ribs in, and then find from your pinky that line of energy. Down your arm, down your leg, all the way to your back heel. Core is engaged, keeping that energy flowing between your hand and all the way down to your foot. Good, push into your right foot. Inhale, rise back up into warrior two. Exhale, hands to the floor, maybe downward dog, maybe vinyasa. Back into downward dog. Inhale, left leg reaches up. On your exhale, step right between your hands. Inhale, rise up. Exhaling into your twist. Stay here in the pose. Inhale, stretch. Exhale. Inhale, rise up. Back foot comes onto the ground. Spread the arms open into warrior two. Take an inhale. On your exhale, come forward. Bottom arm either rest on the leg or you can take your hand to the floor. Right arm lifts either straight up or if you like, over the top of your head. Breathe, holding your pose. So left hip, it wants to stick out behind you. So you want to tuck that hip underneath you, strong, so that tailbone is reaching down towards your foot. And then find your right pinky finger, reach it, and then imagine, can you see energy, the line of energy from your pinky, down your arm, down your rib, past your hip, all the way to your back heel. Pull your belly in and feel that strength in the middle of your body. Good, press through that front foot, rise back up into your warrior two. Windmill your hands to the floor and move through your vinyasa. Remember, you can skip it and go to downward dog. Downward facing dog. This is a great place to stay for a moment or maybe come down in a child's pose for a moment. Whatever you need to recharge your battery. And remember, it's a journey. We're not trying to get anywhere in particular. We're not trying to find a peak pose or anything special tonight. We're just moving. We're just taking a journey in our yoga practice. We're noticing how good it feels to move our body, to breathe, and to connect with one another through this practice. All right, let's walk our feet to the top of your mat. Take a forward fold, lift your tailbone up, lengthen your spine. Pull your belly up and in and rise up. Inhale, arms going to reach up to the top. Hands to your heart. Exhale. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. So leave your right foot forward. You're going to step your left foot back. Extend your arms out, and this is about a good range. If you could draw a line from your hand down to your feet, that's about a good range. And you also want to look and see that your feet are lined up. You know, you can be heel to heel or heel to arch, but basically in a straight line. So we're going to work through triangle pose. First thing I want you to look at is your knees. So we have a tendency to lock our knees super straight in these poses. So instead of that, I want you just to think softness. If we have energy traveling up our leg, think of it as like a channel, a channel of water. There's locks, like you go through the Panama Canal, it stops the water. So I like to think of our joints as like that too. So like when I lock this straight, it's like the energy can't really flow through the leg. So I want to keep it soft. And I also want this kneecap to point straight forward. Most common thing I see when I'm teaching in class, and I can actually see people, is this knee collapsing in. So we don't want that. We want to roll the thigh up and shoot that knee straight forward. Extend your arms out, pull your belly ribs in. Now reach your right arm and just let your hand land organically wherever it wants to go. It's going to be a different place for every single person. So again, use your shin here. Push your fingers into your shin and your shin into your fingers to keep your knees soft. If you feel like you could go deeper, go right ahead. Go down. Breathe. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. So what to do with your face, your head, you can either look down at the ground, you can look straight. If it doesn't bother your neck, feel free to look up. But if it really cranks in your neck, it's totally fine to look down at the ground. All right, as if someone has a hold of your left hand, they're going to help you out. You're going to inhale, rise up out of your pose. Good, now let's just swivel our feet. So turn your right toes in, turn your left toes in. So your right heel is further back than your toes. This leg from the top of your hip all the way down rotates in, internal rotation. This one, external, so rotating open. Left knee straight forward, extend the arms out, ribs in, and then reach, 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 and come on down. Again, organically, wherever your hand wants to land. For most of us, right below the knee is a good place to be. If you feel like you can go deeper, go ahead and slide down. Now here's the caveat. We don't want your chest to drop forward and your hips to come way out behind you, because then you've come out of the pose. So wherever you need to be, you might need to straighten yourself up again and come down and see, can you stay in alignment here? Good. This pose in particular, you might open your hip up. We were taught that a lot, stack hip on top of hip in this poses. If you find that it pinches in your low back, and I do, I usually just drop my hip forward. So I let this hip go ahead and just rotate forward, and then I don't get that pinch in my low back. Because yoga is not about pain. So if you're feeling pain in your pose, adjust so that you don't feel pain. It should feel nice, it should feel good. That's why we do yoga. Challenging, yes, that's different. But pain we don't want to create in our body. Good. Now inhale and slowly rise up out of your pose. Swivel your feet back and then come all the way around. Bring your hands to your hips. You might take a shorter step. Probably most of us will need a shorter stance here. So you want your hips to be level across the front, so you can use your hands on your hip bones to feel pretty level. Good. Now put some weight in your back heel. Push that heel down into the ground, but keep your knees soft. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, you're going to begin to hinge out your hips. Bring your hands to the top of your shin lightly. So again, we're not really pushing down into the leg, keeping our knees soft, just a light fingertips here. Can you reach the crown of your head forward, pull your ribs together in front, and reach your tailbone back? If it's available to you, you can bring your hands down to the ground and maybe even fold your forehead towards your knee. You can walk your hands back too, if that's available. If it's not, you're just going to stay here. This is great. Again, find your pose. It's your journey. Soften in that front knee. Let your neck go. Good. Now let's bring our hands up behind our back. Interlace your fingers and then use your knuckles to help you up. So you're going to reach the arms back. Let it carry you up. And then slide the hands down. Take a small back bend here. And then soften your body. Swivel your feet around to the other side. So come all the way around. Level out your hips. Weight in that back heel. Knees straight forward, hips straight forward. Hinge at your hip. Bring your fingertips lightly to your shin or to the floor, or again, if you have a prop nearby that you're using. If you can go deeper, walk your fingertips back and bow in your pose. Good, so we're going to do the same things. Make sure you have some softness in your front leg. Reach your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers, and then reach your hands up and let your arms carry you up. Easy back bend, open your chest, shoulder blades together. And soften. All right, swivel your feet around. So we did Trikonasana. Let's move into Parivrtta Trikonasana, revolved triangle pose. So I mean, we're doing twist today, so let's do that. So we're going to do just like we did a moment ago. Hands on your hips. You're nice and level, straight across the front. All right, so we're going to take an inhale, hinge at your hips, but you're only going to come halfway. So you're working to get your head and your hips fairly level, okay? And you may not be able to drop all the way down, that's okay. But what I don't want you to do is to drop lower than your hips. So head reaches straight out. Notice how your right hip's wanting to come forward. So work your right hip back. Now take your left hand right below your knee and your right hand to that sacrum, the bone that we used earlier tonight. Reach your head forward, pull ribs and belly up and in. If it's available to you, and it may not be, but if it is, you can start to turn your chest to the right. If it's available to you, you can start to work your left hand down to the ground. But again, not collapsing, extending through the spine. Now we did this earlier. Right arm reaches straight out, plug the shoulder in, and if you can, begin to open into your Parvita Trikonasana. Shoulder blades squeeze on your back, belly up and in. Good, another full breath here. And exhale. Unwind, back to center. Roll yourself up to standing. Ooh, feel the work in your right leg. Swivel yourself around to the other side. Level your hips. Root down through your back heel. Ribs in. Take a deep breath. And the exhale, fold halfway. So again, head level with your hips. This knee, soft. Left knee, soft. Push into your big toe. Ribs up and in. Long line of energy. Top of your head, all the way back to your tailbone, and then down through the heel of your foot. Right hand to your shin. Maybe this is where we stay. I'm just going to turn this way so you can see a little better. All right, left arm reaches out. Like we did earlier, plug the shoulder in, and then start to turn your chest open into your pose. So we're not cranking the shoulder back. Shoulders in place, and then we can twist from the middle of our body. If it's available, take your hand to the floor. It may not be, that's okay. Good, so I can even feel in this pose, this left hip, it's working really hard to go forward. And I want to resist that. I want to take my hip in, back and down, because I'm trying to lengthen from my tailbone to the top of my head. I want my spine to be long. And if my hip crawls up here, I'm getting all crunched up in my spine. So I want to work that hip back, reach the head out, get a long spine and twist. Good, inhale, rise all the way up. And then find the top of your mat. Sorry, I'm all different directions, so wherever the top of your mat is. Reach up tall. Take a little bit of a back bend here. Knees soft, ribs in, reach back. And then like a rag doll, fold down to the ground. Come all the way into a yoga squat. So make yourself small. If that bothers your knees, don't come all the way down. If you can, round over your legs. Let the full weight of your body round over. Good, and then roll yourself up. Inhaling as you come all the way up. Reach tall. Hands to your heart. Pause. All right, let's do a balance. So we're going to root down through your left leg. You're going to pick your right leg up. I'm going to fix this real quick. So pick your right leg up, hold your shin. Flex your right foot so you have integrity in that leg. Be a tall spine, shoulders down. All right, moving into a twist. You may not want to, you can stay right here. But if you want to twist, left hand is going to come across the top of your right thigh. And then reach your right arm back as you twist. So turn your whole upper torso. If that's tricky, you can just keep your head forward. You don't have to turn it back and follow your hand. If you're feeling a little bit adventurous tonight, you can start to work your left hand down to the outside of your right foot, little toe side, and start to kick your heel straight forward. Drop, right hip down, and play with balance. If your balance is difficult tonight, again, remember, our balance is affected by so many things that are going on around us. Plus, it is a gorgeous full moon, and rumor has it, it's super hard to balance during full moon. So let's just go with that rumor. But yeah, it's tricky. And then release and come back to the center. And shake it out. And again, you might have a different surface. Like I know I'm on a carpet. I try to get some hard surface, but it feels a little wobbly for me. So everybody's in a different place during their practice. So the point of that is, don't beat yourself up if you're having a hard time balance. Just let it go.